got?
I have a question. A lot of bands, as you're growing and you're releasing new albums and things like that, their sound changes, and obviously a lot of bands react differently. And I guess as a manager and as a band, how do you decide let's improve, change our sound, and how do you deal with the response after?
That's a good question. Probably one of the toughest things as a band is to figure out what you're going to do next. You know, you have your first record come out and it's a big hit, or it's not, and it doesn't work well. Like, okay, what the hell do we do next? And I think as songwriters, as people, you grow up. You know, like we're not the same kids that we were when we first wrote the first album. And we were 19, 18, 19, trying to make it. So obviously the lyrics and our story was all about that. So the first record, you hear that. You know, you hear it's young kids trying to make it and talking about their lives. And then after the second record, we sat down. And after the first record, we sat down. Like, okay, we just sold 3 million albums. Things are going amazing. Like, okay, what do we do? And at that moment, we felt like we want to have a record that's a little more rock. That sounds more powerful. So we got to work with Bob Rock, and that brought something pretty different to the table. I think it made a record that was, you know, still one of my favorite. After that, there's always there's something dangerous. After the 2 albums that do well, everybody starts to tell you, like in interviews, like, okay, you can't keep doing the same thing. What are you gonna do next? And you know, like, will people get bored? And then it gets in your head a little bit, and you go like, and you look at big bands, and you know, lots of, like, if you look at bands like U2 or No Doubt or whatever, they took their sound and they kind of twisted around and they changed it and they became super successful. So you're like, okay, maybe we should do that, and maybe we have to reinvent ourselves. And lots of time it comes from reading reviews or critics, and you're like, oh man, we gotta. And then, you know, that's what happened to us on the third album. We felt like we had to try something new, and obviously as people, you know, you have different influences, and you know, like you hear new bands, so you want to try something fresh, and that's what we try to do with the third album. And some fans didn't like it, you know. Some fans, it's their favorite record. It's a darker album just because of what we were going through in our personal lives. You know, Kara's brother was battling with cancer, was going through tough breakups, so it's a little darker. And that's okay. You have to follow your heart, and you have to write about what feels right at the moment. If we just tried to do like a contrived same album as the first and second one, maybe it would have sounded, you know, super boring and just kind of trying to tread water. But the one thing we learned from that record is that it's okay to be yourself as well. You don't necessarily have to completely reinvent who the band is on every record, you know, because there's nothing wrong with playing what you're good at. And what we realized with this fourth record, we sat back and was like, what do people like about us, and what do we like to play live? And their answer was like, we love fast, pop punkish kind of, you know, catchy songs. And there's nothing wrong with that, and sometimes the media and people around you make you feel like, well, you shouldn't be doing the same thing over, and it's not the same thing, because obviously you're a different person, so it's going to be a little different, but it was important for us to go back to our roots, you know what I mean? And I think that with every record, like, you sit down and you try to put out the best record, and if you don't feel it's your best record, then you're not done, you know? That's why we sat down and we wrote like over 75 songs for this one. We really busted our ass, you know. We ended up making 11, so it says a lot about the band. Either we're hardworking or we're not that good as songwriters, you know. I mean, it's one of the two, so I'm hoping it's the hardworking one. But, you know, we went back to our roots, but at the same time, we tried something new. Like, look at this song right now that we have called Summer Paradise. It's a reggae, beachy kind of song with Sean Paul on it. Now, I mean, if you told me in 2001 or even in 99, you know, you guys are going to have a hit single with Sean Paul and it's going to be like a reggae song, I would have been like, are you out of your mind? There's no way that will ever happen. But sure enough, it's happening, and it feels right. Because at that point, we felt like trying something new and fresh, and we own it.
Was Jet Lag the first time you had a girl vocalist?
Yeah, first time we had a girl vocalist. So we tried, I mean, it's funny, this record is a throwback in some ways, it's going back to our roots, but at the same time, we're trying all these new things that we've never tried before. Having a girl in a song like Jet Lag, having this reggae kind of song that's, you know, totally stands out from the rest of our songs, but at the same time, like, it felt genuine, it came from from the heart, and you know, we believe in those songs. So when you believe in something and it's not contrived, people can feel it. That's the thing, and maybe that's one thing that we have to be careful about with this record. Like when you listen to the radio right now, it's all dance and it's all these kind of Katy Perry, Rihanna, like big producer dance records. So we have to kind of look back and go like, is this what we need to do as a band in 2012? And we sat down, we talked about it, and we're like, no, that's not who we are. So we're gonna kind of try to just kind of handle that storm, what's happening right now in music, and just be ourselves and stay true while trying some new things, but stay true to ourselves, and hopefully fans will find the music and will come to the shows. And sure enough, after 12 years, this is one of the biggest records we ever had. The shows are selling out. This song right now is the biggest hit we had in years. All over Europe, it's blowing up, and it's like, because we stayed the course. We didn't do what the trend was. And lots of time when you try to follow a trend, the sad thing is that you might write the biggest song in that style, but it's a year too late, because by the time it's, you know, recorded, mixed, it comes out, the video shot, it's already, like, the style's already gone. So you can't be chasing trends, you know. You gotta try to stay true to who you are and, you know, follow your heart.
Eric, remember the conversation we had about Jet Lag? And I said to you, is there any chance we could get a girl singer from Singapore on there? And you said, yeah. Where is she? So, I mean, you know, there was a lost opportunity a couple of years, but there could have been a sort of Asian version. You were looking for doing it.
We do have a Mandarin version, and with the French version, we did a Indonesian version of the song. So we did have to take some opportunity to add different girls to the song. So, and it was a door that was opened up for us because there was a guest vocalist, and then it moved into the French idea that Chuck spoke of earlier. And we thought, like, we could probably do that elsewhere. And it's been successful for us. And they've had different guest vocalists. We have one in Australia, and there's two coming out. There's a girl from Korea, I think, singing with the band in Hanoi on Saturday.
Yeah, we've been kind of playing the field a little bit with that song. We've been hanging out with lots of girls.
It's really something to get girls.
Yeah, we're kind of being slutty with that song. But really, it's like, this record is, after 12 years, like, it's funny, I was doing a big interview this morning, and they were asking me, like, how come you guys are still around after 12 years? Like, most bands do not make it, you know, that long. And we never had any lineup change. We're still the same 5 guys, and we're super proud of that. And, you know, and when you look at this record, the fact that we have the privilege and the luck, and, you know, like it's just so amazing that we can keep doing this and that it keeps growing. You know, that's what's so special to me, that we sat down and like, you know what, let's take some risks. Let's try different things. I mean, it's been working for 10, 12 years. It's, you know, like, I guess we can afford to do things that maybe before we would have been scared of, like doing a Mandarin version. Why not? Let's try it. You know what I mean? Like, we've been going to China since 2004, and, you know, why not do something special for those fans? You know what I mean? And some people might look at it and go like, how are they doing with that? But it's like, why not? Embrace your fans. Embrace, you know, try different things. And if it doesn't work, okay, fine, you move on, you know what I mean? But I feel like we have more confidence with the band now. It's like, you want to try something, you want to do a song with Sean Paul? Cool. We had a version with Kanan as well. It's like, Kanan and Simple Plan, Sean Paul and Simple Plan. It's kind of odd, but you know what? It works because we tried it, because we gave ourselves that chance.
I was going to say, from a business standpoint, when I have an artist like Jet Lag gave us an opportunity to add in different girls, different countries, I look at it as like a market share. You know what, I wouldn't mind having some Chinese market share. Let's throw in some, we think about the math of it all as well. And then go back to the artist. You can live with yourself. This is fine. We put on a great artist, and you can sleep at night feeling like, hell yeah, we made the right decision. I don't mind having this girl, she can bring something to the song. Then we made a good artistic decision, and we made a good business decision. And that's how it is.
You got a question? Yeah. You spoke earlier in saying how you guys have persevered, and you shared 2 stories about, like, you know, contacting management, demos, and turning those yeses into no's. I was curious what doors you guys are, at this point in your career, trying to knock down, or, you know what I mean, just to kind of turn those no's into yeses at this point, even though you've already been so successful. What are you guys aiming for now?
That's the funny part. That's the best part about, you know, who we are as a band, is that a lot of bands, after, you know, when they've been around for a long time, they start to, I call it fold back, where they say like, okay, like,